To Cornelius Joble, the Deputy Town Clerk of Arua City, they are forging ways of achieving a goal of a unified, accommodative city that is economically viable and non-discriminatory.
Inclusion of all categories of people is at the heart of our vision as a city. And so this dialogue is one of the aspects of inclusion that we want to engage with people of diverse backgrounds. How can we help ourselves socially, economically, and otherwise so that we grow this city together? Because it is not the city, it is the people in the city that matter.
Recent population census conducted by Arua City Council in partnership with VNG International reveals that Arua City is hosting 23,917 refugees and migrants, in which 11,098 of them are males, while 12,817 of them are females, out of which 9,143 have settled in Arua Central Division, while 14,774 of them live in Ivo Division from different nations. Frederick Tamadri, West Nile TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories. Police in Pakwach district have arrested and detained 7 local leaders for the mismanagement of Emyoga funds in Mukule and Pumit Parish, respectively, after it was realized that the suspects went into hiding and failed to account for 17.4 million shillings Emyoga funds dispersed to their circles 2 years ago. Alfred Jawok reports.
7 leaders who include Francis Oshama, 48 years, the overall chairperson of Jonam constituency local leaders Emyoga Sacco, Peter Onyongochok, 57 years, chairperson Oliajo Emyoga Sacco, Santa Rose Angyango, 52 years, Matilda Jamtho, 38 years, William Winji, 39 years, Obote Avuni, 41 years, and Emmanuel Jamtho Robanga were picked up on Thursday, 2nd November this year, after it was realized that the suspects went into hiding and failed to account for 17.4 Emyoga funds delivered to their circles 2 years ago. According to information obtained from the office of Pakwach Resident District Commissioner Paulo Sero, the accused failed to account for the funds and went into hiding, hence prompting their arrest. Esero further revealed that the suspects will face court of law as they think this is government funds to be eaten for free. The RDC promised to arrest other circle leaders who will not account for the funds given to their circles.
All the government projects and programs in the area. Me as the RDC here, I will not accept that nonsense. The time for romancing these people is over. It's now action. Many times I have called these people, especially the local leaders, the ones you see here. I have called them that you people, you come, we have an engagement, and we see how we can revive the circle. No one is there. People come, or monitors come from Kampala, for example, the microfinance support team, to monitor the program. They want to reach them. They are nowhere to be seen. I call them on phone, nobody picks my phone calls. I call them for meetings, nobody wants to come for meetings. They have never caused any AGM ever since they got the money. Yeah. And as we speak now, all the circles, according to the microfinance tier 4, they are supposed to undergo what we call permanent registration. These local leaders are playing the cat and mouse game.
However, Christopher Jakweyo, District Commercial Officer, Pakwach District, confirms the detention of the suspects, saying they will help police with investigations into the disappearance of Emyoga funds, as exhibits of crime were recorded at Pakwach Police Station.
Yes, yesterday in the morning, 6 leaders of Jonam constituency, local leaders Emyoga Sacco Limited, were picked from Pakwach sub-county in different locations where they have been hiding. I want to confirm that these people are in police custody since yesterday, As I talk, they are now in Pakwach Central Police Station. They were brought yesterday at midday. The move has been, what happened is because these people have failed to repay the Emyoga loan they accessed from their SACCO. When this money was being advanced to the SACCO for onwards lending, they were well aware that this is a revolving loan. But all goes about the poor attitude towards loans that the government is trying to make sure that there is deepening of financial inclusion in the entire country.
Meanwhile, according to confidential sources within the police cycles, other SACCO leaders now at large are believed to have connived with some district officials to withdraw the funds and poorly managed the funds for its purpose. But police has opened a general inquiry file into the incident and also appeals to the general public to help in recovering of the funds. A 2019-2020 reports indicate that Pakwach district disbursed 50 million shillings to local leaders Emyoga SACCO, but only the recovery rate is at 2%. The reports further reveal that only 4 million shillings was recovered from local leaders Emyoga SACCO in Pakwach district. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories, leaders have been urged to be consistent and deliberate in their pursuit for peace along the borders. This urge was made by Mr. Sekama Julian, the Deputy Resident District Commissioner, Moyo District, during the cross-border peace engagement conference meeting between Kojokeji County of South Sudan, Moyo, and Obongi District. Okumu Dominic has more.
The conference, under the theme, Do Everything Possible on Your Path to Live in Peace with Everybody, gave the participants the opportunity to discuss pertinent issues ranging from the drivers of border conflicts, roles and responsibilities of the participants in peacemaking across the borders, and the possible solution stroke mechanisms to resolve the border conflicts, among others. Mr. Sekamwa Julian, the Deputy Resident District Commissioner Moyo, urged the leaders in the two countries to always be consistent and deliberate in their pursuit for peace along the border, saying without this there will continue to be problems along the border.
And members, as we are here today, there are a few things that we have said here that I'm not going to repeat in detail that we need to understand clearly if we are going to achieve. One of them is consistency. We need to be consistent in whatever we are doing. I'm talking about consistency in interactions. Like Commissioner said, we don't have to meet to solve problems. No. We meet to review our progress. When I call Oliver, or when I call Commissioner, or when I call the Minister, I don't call to complain. Sometimes I call to say hello, to ask, is everything okay? That is how we are supposed to be living. The consistency. Now, we have to be deliberate and willing. Committees have been made. This is not the first one. But is there willingness? If you are not willing to deliver, put your hand up and drop that position. Because we are going to put pressure on you.
Mr. Duma Fanuel, the Commissioner Kajokeji County, urged the formed committee on peace to be proactive in their role of coordination between the two countries so as to promote peace along the border.
A lot of things that are again, if this is the spirit that we adapt today and we put it to implementation, I think some of these issues of petty issues will just address themselves alone. Trying to appeal to the executive committee form. You should not be only honoring the name of the committee and you do nothing. There's going to be a lot of work. Constant meetings, a lot of information, I think will eradicate all the challenges. Like what happened back. The committee was formed and was not even able to give us the detail of the success or maybe the challenge while implementing. This is supposed to be presented before, but because we are just informed to come and listen and even form the committee. So I'm saying the committee, you are charged with the task, and it's not easy unless you people, we unite it, we cooperate, we work hand in hand, we would at least do something.
Honorable Amoko Emmanuel, the district speaker Moyo, who represented the chairman Local Council 5, urged all the participants in the meeting to always remember that they have the responsibility to ensure peace in the communities where they come from, so that the conflicts along the border communities will stop.
That the selection of the participants here have been carefully and based on the reason selected. Therefore, it means that as we participate here today in this conference, at the back of our mind, we should accept that we have a responsibility to ensure peace from now and onwards, and remain committed to the cause. That is why we say the participants in this room are now leaders of influence.
Reverend Canon Mono John, the secretary of Kajokeji Diocese, said leaders play key role in influencing their subjects both positively or negatively, but urge the leaders to help push the message of peaceful coexistence among their community members living along the border.
Any word that comes from the leader is taken very important, and if their behaviors are also followed, then you could see that it would indicate. So if we are coming here for the issue of peace, if leaders shows in themselves that they are pro-peace, then all citizens would live towards that.
Colonel Coach Robert, the 503 Brigade Commander, implored the communities living around the border to avoid tribal discriminations, but rather focus on activities which brings up development in the area.
Mad is a very small tribe. Instead of these people, we better identify ourselves as West Nilers. Would even sound better because it covers a very big area with many tribes. So people will not be pointing fingers at another one. So we have not identified the function of a border. If we knew border is purely for business, we would even be more prosperous than even Kenya.
The Cross-Border Engagement Conference meeting on sustainable livelihoods and peace building in Kajokeji, South Sudan, and Palorinya refugee settlement in Uganda is based on the recommendations of the lessons from the perception of the South Sudanese study conducted by Lutheran World Federation, LWF Uganda, and the ACT Church of Sweden, which recommended the enhanced cross-border dimension of refugee response to facilitate communities on both sides to rebuild their lives in the thematic areas of peace building and livelihoods. I'm Dominic Antonio Kumu for West Nile TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories, Moyo District local government is grappling with the lack of funds for the maintenance of the road links within the district, something that has raised eyebrows in the public eye. The lack of funds for the road maintenance in the district has left many road links to be in a very poor state, thus hindering service delivery. Okumu Dominic reports.
The lack of funds for road maintenance in the district has left many road links to be in a very poor state. Mr. Oja Albin, the acting district engineer, said the district has road length of over 161.7 kilometers, but out of the total road length, 85% is motorable, while 15% is in a very poor state.
When you take the road condition for district, at least the motorable is 85%, and 15% at the poor state. One of them is Lefori Kale. As of now, it is not accessible, especially when you take a heavy truck, and it is only the small vehicle. But of course, once it rains, it is risky. They normally get stuck. But of course, this running financial year, you know, even initially we don't have money for rehabilitation. Under the guideline of Uganda Road Fund, we are not supposed to use the money for rehabilitation, only for road maintenance. But of course, this running financial year, at least Ministry of Works and Transport allocated each district in Uganda, Moyo being one of them, to receive 1 billion for rehabilitation of roads.
Honorable Andu Richard Opeli, the Vice Local Council 5 Chairman who doubles as the Secretary for Works, admits that majority of the road links in the district are in a very poor state, which has greatly affected the movement of people and goods in the district.
The road link issue came in, and the road link issue was presented by the district engineer. Indeed, we have bad road shapes within the district. Majorly that one from Lefo to Kali and others. Indeed, the central government has released some funds of 1 billion, which is lying in the bank, stamped in the bank. But this money has a number of conditions which has set a confusion. The Ministry of Works and Transport says that money should not be utilized as a road maintenance fund. The Parliament also said the same, that the money should be used as maintenance fund. The Uganda Road Network says no. So these three organizations have now blocked the use of the 1 billion in the bank, and as a result, they cannot take a step to use this money. And also is fearing if step is not taken for the use of this money, the money is likely to go back to the central treasury.
Concerning the 1 billion ceiling sent by the Ministry of Works and Transport as road fund, Honorable Andu said as a district, a decision will be made on how the money will be used in the forthcoming district council and wait for the repercussions of their actions later.
The district will take it up by using that money and to state whoever comes and queries about that money. We said we don't want to use the money for going back, and now we cannot sit when the roads are terribly bad. Some of these roads cannot be assessed, and the roads are is used for transportation of food produce, and even for movements. All these are purpose of uses of roads, and the communities cannot even access these poor roads. More especially, they cannot be mostly be motorized. They are unmotorable due to the weather, and the conditions continue worsening because of the daily downpour of the rain. So when the council seeks the end of this coming month, rather at the end of November this year, the district council will pronounce itself by using that money. So we do that money from the bank, and if it becomes an audit query, the district will stand answerable to explain. That is the stand of the district as I talk now. And as the Secretary for responsible for works, indeed we would like to commit that money instead of lying idle in the bank.
Honorable Anyama Williams, the Chairman, Local Council 5 Moyo, agreed that most of the road links in the district are in a very bad state and say this requires immediate action so as to address the problem.
Actually, accessing Munu Health Center, Munu Primary, is a big problem. So these are areas that need emergency response. We need to sit down and see how we can do as roads committee. The district engineer is here. I took time with him to go for monitoring, but the road is in very bad state.
The bad state of roads in the district, according to the district leadership, is caused by the lack of funds meant for the maintenance of the roads in the district, since the government grants for road maintenance has drastically reduced, which has made it difficult for the district to consider maintaining all the road links. It's from this background that the district is now trying to devise different means so as to address the poor state of roads, which is being made worse by the constant heavy downpours in the district. I'm Dominic Antonio Kumo for West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
Welcome for the sports news on West Nile Television. With me, Owen Izaga. It's the Nile Cast time, and of course I want to say it's one of the biggest you should be getting ready for. But of course, in our top stories, I went over the biggest happened yesterday in this FUFA Big League, where a couple of games were played, and in the big game, Onduparaka Football Club came all the way back to make it cruise past, that is Young Elephants of Noyari. Young Elephants, a new entrance in the start times in the FUFA Big League, and their first goal of the season came yesterday against Onduparaka Football Club at Greenlight Ababet Stadium after a very fast goal in the first half of the minute. But later on, Samson Caesar Okuti came in, the coach player of Onduparaka Football Club, to equalize for Onduparaka Football Club in a game that saw, of course, the fans blazing. Now, in an interview with Samson Caesar Okuti, he expressed joy and how he needed the teams to do it. Let's have more from the reporters.
Onduparaka Football Club recorded their third win of the season with a 2-1 win over newly promoted Young Elephant. The difference was created by Samson Caesar Okuti, the player coach of the club, who came off the bench to inspire the win for the Caterpillars by firing a brace. The win moves Onduparaka off the relegation zone to 9th position with 9 points.
You're most welcome. My name is Susie, reporting from Greenlight Stadium, Ababet, home of Onduparaka Football Club. We have been watching a match, day 6, Bet Power Big League, and the game between Onduparaka Football Club and, of course, Young Elephants just concluded in the pitch behind you're seeing me. And the game ended on a 2-1 basis. Young Elephants scored first, of course, in the 15th minute, and that goal came in from Ola Jacobs, a player of course, Young Elephants. But then, in the second half, the gaffer himself, the coach of Onduparaka Football Club, I'm talking about Samson Caesar Okuti, who came in as a substitute. He scored in a brace for Onduparaka, and the full time for that game was, of course, a 2-1 there in a brace coming through from Samson Caesar Okuti, the coach himself. And the full time viewers out there can tell you is the full time coming live from Greenlight Ababet Stadium is a 2-1. Onduparaka Football Club 2, Young Elephants 1, and it is the 3 points for Onduparaka into the game. And it is up next. They're waiting for the next fixture, and they have collected all the 3 points right from Greenlight Ababet Stadium, where we are reporting live from Onduparaka 2, Young Elephants 1. It is a 2-1.
The next encounter for Onduparaka Football Club will be a trip away to Jinja North United. Oraku Benson Pastore, Susie Linda, West Nile Television, Nile Cast Sports News.
And more in our stories, still in the breaking news and, of course, upcoming the developments of Uganda. The Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has appointed Belgian international, 67 years of age, Paul Put, as the new head coach of the Uganda Cranes. Paul Put is 67 years of age and replaces Sedovic Mitchell, who has been the head coach of Uganda Cranes for all 2 to 3 years. Now, he parted ways with the club after a disappointing 2023 national in the Nationals after failing to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations 2023. Uganda starts with a back-to-back qualification battle for the 2025 World Cup qualifiers this month, which puts, of course, put Paul into a considerable moment to see who is that player he will be bringing onto the team to put. He is one coach who has trained and, of course, coached very many clubs and at the same time national teams in Africa. Amongst few include Congo of the neighbors of Uganda, and Zhesheng, Tisanga, Leopard, Kenya, the neighbors of Uganda, including Usma, Alger, and not forgetting Burkina Faso and Gambia, respectively. Now, this news came after, of course, the development was initiated after giving a chance to Uganda's local coach Molibi Ekwaso on an interim basis, but failed to please the Federation of Uganda Football Association. In a story that ran up today, the coach has been also given an assistant coach by the names of Sam Simbwa, who will be taking mantles who will be taking in as the assistant coach. Sam Simbwa has been a Ugandan coach who has been here for quite a long time, and the development of the players is one big thing that he would be putting into the team over the Uganda Cranes, and Paul Putin, of course, who is the head coach of the club. Now, getting into other stories right there, former Uganda player or Uganda's legend David Obua has also been mentioned and appointed as the head coach of the StarTime Uganda Premier League club URA. The tax collectors appointed the former player of Kaizer Chiefs as their new head coach after the sudden death of Sam Timbe, who was the coach at the helm of URA. After all looking for all the coaches in Uganda, they looked unto the former Kaizer Chiefs player to come and take the mantle. This leaves the club in a very big sorrow after the loss of their coach, but David Obua has a lot to do with the club after the coach left the team on position number 7 on the StarTime Uganda Premier League log. With that marks the end of our sports news today, and I want to say keep it locked to West Nile Television, and big more stories still will be coming here, and different programs that will be coming up right here. My name is Owen Ezaga. A very good day.
Thank you, Owen Ezaga, for that sports news and the sports highlight. And that, viewer, marks the end